welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the second section of the podcast if you're listening to the podcast, and to a completely separate show if you're watching on YouTube, where we are going to be looking back on Everton kits past and present. We've got Max and Terry with me again to look over it, and these two are really excited about this show, really looking forward to delve into the archives and look back on their favourite Everton kits. So first things first, Max, what's your favourite Everton kit of all time?
Right, I have a season that takes the crown for Everton kits in my personal opinion, and it might just be, as I say, subjective attachment, because we did do bloody well this season. I think we finished 5th, and it was the season that we got to the FA Cup final. The home kit was fantastic. We obviously beat Liverpool, not Liverpool, at the FA Cup in it. And then the away and the third kit followed a similar template, if you will. So, same collars, same sleeves, but white and navy for the away kit, and then a sort of a fluorescent green, or however you want to call it, for the third. And it was just absolutely beautiful. And it had inscribed on the inside of the shirt, so you obviously couldn't see it, but on the bottom rim of the shirt, it had, if you know your history, as a little subjective touch. And I don't think you get that all too often any these days anyway, with your partnerships with certain sportswear manufacturers. So yeah, 2008, 2009, if you look them kits up, I think they are absolutely beautiful. Go on, Terry. What have we got?
Well, I'll start with my favourite home kit, and it's no surprise because anyone who listens to us or follows me on Twitter, I always throw this in whenever anyone does any kit related conversation, and it's the 2014-15 shirt, which was the first one with the current badge, the second year of Roberto Martinez when we went back into Europe, first one with Umbro, so it was the one with the navy socks. Basically, just think that's the perfect Everton kit for me. Perfect Everton home kit anyway. From I like the Grandad collar. I always like Grandad collars on kits.
The material was dead nice as well, wasn't it?
Material was dead nice. The new badge looked amazing. The tone of blue with the sort of it had sort of like a navy, I don't want to say pinstripe, but it was like a horizontal, sort of texture and stripe going through it. Obviously the navy socks, the white shorts, it just made us look class. I've pined for a kit like that ever since. And to be honest, I wasn't excited to have Umbro back at the time because, whilst the season before we had that shambles of a badge and the night kits obviously weren't as good as they went on to be after we'd left them. Sod's Law, Everton there. When I saw that kit, I was just like, that's silly good. I don't care who's made it. That Umbro have smashed it there.
Let me raise this to you. One of the main critiques from fans and me as well from those batch of Umbro kits, they made the strange decision, in my opinion, to have Umbro branded on the sleeve. So just in text, no logo, just Umbro written on the sleeve.
That's right, yeah.
As we say, as a football purist, that is kind of off-putting to me. Did that not defer your admiration for this kit in any way?
No, didn't bother me that. I can understand why it would bother you, but for me, that I don't mind stuff like that. Even some funky brands, when they've got symmetry. I like symmetry, mate. So if it's got symmetrical, nice, tidy logos down the arms, like the Kappa kits do this, I don't mind that. I think that looks good. What I don't like is something that Umbro did, back in the era where you were talking before with the 2009 kit, which I did have and I still quite like. But do you remember when Umbro had the logo that was too high? It was it was up on the shoulder, but the badge was on the breast.
Yeah.
I hated that because it was just no symmetry, and the Umbro was just the stretched out diamonds. It wasn't like the small one we've got now. But no, I didn't mind that the Umbro's on the sleeves. I wouldn't have. It might not have looked good if we had a sleeve sponsor at the time because it would have just been more text, wouldn't it? But we didn't, so it was just the Premier League or what have you, the Europa League badges on the arms. It didn't bother me.
It beats Angry Birds, I suppose.
Yeah, true. But no, I know exactly what you mean because it was just the lettering Umbro, wasn't it, on the sleeve? And no, that personally didn't bother me because it was symmetrical. If you only had it on one, I wouldn't have liked it, but I didn't mind it.
Okay. What about you, James? Come on, lad. What are your favourite kits?
Bit of a mad one, this. We've gone for two different eras of Umbro so far, and I'm going to go back to another era of Umbro in the late 90s. I'm going to go for the 99-2000 home kit. We only had it for one season, but it was an absolute belter of a kit. If anyone wants to go and look back at that one, it was the kit we wore when we last won at Anfield, which tells you about how long we're looking
Was
back.
it 1-1?
It was one of the kits with 1-1 on, but it was like the only decent home kit with 1-1 on.
Oh yeah, I know the one. Yeah,
It had the Umbro stripes on the shoulder, a bit like the one we had, not this season, the season before, where we had like the sort of Umbro diamonds in a white stripe, but it was over the shoulders. It was a really good kit, and I think that was a throwback to the sort of 82 kit we had, where we also had the Umbro diamonds on like a stripe on the shoulder. It was just a very nice little trim, I thought, and it was a very, other than the Umbro stripes on the shoulder, I thought it was a very like back to basics kit, and I like that. I don't like too much hoo-ha over the kits. If it's blue and it like less is more sometimes, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think to sort of sum that up as a whole, honestly, if I was to give you, like, looking back at our entire history, my favourite Everton kits ever, it'd be the kits from the 60s. It's just blue shirts, white round collar, white shorts, and then it'd be a toss-up between blue and white socks. I think there's a brilliant quote from Harry Catrick saying that, they'll know who we are with Everton. We turn up in blue shirts, white socks, white shorts, and what have you. So they always sort of stood out to me, seeing, Alex Young, Brian LeBone, that group of players just stood out for a mile. And I think conversation we were having off camera before we started recording is that, like, some teams now sort of have a prestige aside, given with the kit that they produce. I think Barcelona is obviously like the prime example of that now. It's like the famous stripes. But there's that sort of quality associated with the kit of a team. I think when I look back to that 60s era and I see that kit, it just stands out to me always.
Yeah,
No,
I understand that. I like the stripped back sort of like old school looking ones. What are we chatting on away kits then? We've all said a home kit. Now, what do we reckon for away kits and thing kits?
Right, okay.
Let Max go first again.
I was a massive fan of, was it the first season that Nike come into Nike partnership with Nike when we had the all black strip?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, as I've said, I felt quite let down by the home strip that year because it was very, template basic. The really weird cuff sleeves, which were sound if you got it long sleeve, could it just wrap around your ankle, but it was just unnecessarily fat when you went short sleeve. And I think like every other standard Nike club, so I think like Hanover or Mainz, they'd have the exact same but in red. But when it comes to the away kit, Nike absolutely knocked it out the park. We had an all black collared strip, which was a lovely material, just illuminated with yellow. So like the features were yellow. And interestingly enough, so that season it was a sort of me peak Everton fanboyism. I was one to get names on the back of shirts every year, and that year on the home kit I got Jelavic. On the away kit, which was the black one, I got Heitinger, and the one after that I got Fellaini. All immediately that season went down the shitter or got sold.
Yeah, I had the black one. I think the black one was the only one I bought that season, and I had Jelavic on the back.
Lovely kit.
It was a belter of a kit.
The Jelavic year, I think it was, wasn't it? Like when he came in and just took the piss.
They were the Lecoq Sportif kits. They were dead nice as well. I thought they were for Lecoq Sportif last offering. I think we had like a yellow away strip that was lovely as well.
That was brilliant.
Do you remember the cream polo? Like the cream polo with the collar. We knocked Chelsea out the FA Cup in them and had the hoop socks.
That year was just the best for Lecoq Sportif for me because we had the dead plain home shirt, which was just all blue and had like a sort of thing across the chest, but that was blue as well. But you could tell from stitching that it was
different, yeah.
That it was a feature, because on the away kit was the exact same template. It was neon pink but that feature was navy, but they'd obviously just double blued it on their own kit. And then the obviously that absolute elite level kit, that vanilla and navy kit with the hooped socks, unbelievable. That was one of my shouts for the away kit. I think that year was one of our strongest like sets of like 3 kits. There was no bad ones in that. Like, all right, people might have thought the pink was a bit, too much, or the home was a bit boring, but for me, every kit that year was great.
Yeah, for me, for the best set of kits, I'd say and obviously it's associated with a good year as well. We got in the top 4, the 04-05 season, but again, all 3 kits were just so less is more. Decent blue kit with just the white sort of trim by the shoulders, and then I'm pretty sure it was completely plain white away kit and black third kit, I think, and it was all of them were just subtle basically, and I think that's, like you say, I think that's the way Everton kits should be.
Tell you what was banging. Do you remember? I think it might have been that second year actually. It was Martinez's third year. Tell a lie. The green third kit that we beat Southampton. I think it was 3-1 or 3-0 away, and we never wore it again. We beat Reading in the cup. I'll tell a lie, because I remember going to Reading. We beat Reading in the cup wearing that kit. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it had like a black band.
Oh, the gold.
The khaki.
Like green and gold.
No, not green and gold. It was like
orange, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, orange highlights. Oh, that was splendid.
So I just remember the Chang logo being in like a gold or an orange.
It was orange, yeah. You love that kit, don't you? You bring that up every time kids get mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what else was class? And it's going to sound like I'm obsessed with this year, but like it's just brilliant. The same year, 14-15, I think it was, when we first went back with Umbro, the third kit, which was white and purple.
Yeah.
Like, now being probably known more as the Justin Bieber kit. When Justin Bieber had a kickabout on Robert Earl's private island, owner of Planet Hollywood, he had a load of football kits, and the Everton third kit with the white top with the purple detail, and the purple shorts and the purple socks. Justin Bieber's just having a game of footy in a full Everton kit. It was the most surreal thing, but I think that was one of the nicest kits we've had.
I just have memories of Eto scoring those goals in that kit.
Yeah.
While wearing the number 5.
Yeah, definitely. Quality. We've had loads of decent ones that are like, disappeared. Like depends on your taste though, doesn't it? Obviously, I absolutely hated the home kit from this particular season. The Allardyce year, I hated the home kit, but that grey away kit with like the sort of design with the tower on it, a lot of people didn't like that because it was like two or three tones of grey across the kit. I didn't mind that. I wouldn't put it up there as one of my favourites, but
no, I'll be honest. I hated that one.
Did you?
The season Mars, those kits. I feel like we're in danger now of every season that we have like a good kit per se. Like the reputation of that kit depends on if we fucking turn up or not.
Oh, absolutely. My favourite kit, being the home kit, when Martinez's second year, we were bossing Europe, and I was thinking, if we win a European trophy
in this kit,
it's just like, please, like I always think, if we get like a terrible kit, I always think, I hope we don't win something in that kit because it'll ruin it for me. Not really, but like...
That's what I will say is that first Martinez season, the kits were, in my opinion, atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah, not just the
obviously with the crap badge, but
the third kit from that year was the best of a bad bunch, like the sort of silver and navy. I still didn't like any of the kits, but the colours on that were passable, so that made it not as bad. But the yellow and blue one and the home kit,
Now again, I'm a massive advocate of yellow Everton away kits, but they absolutely destroyed that one.
Too much, far too much.
Again, like I say, less is more, and I think we haven't really had an all-yellow away strip since, again, I think it was 99-2000 when I last remember an all-yellow away kit.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we had...
Sounds 90s, very 90s.
In 2004, we had we finished 17th and Rooney left in the summer. We had a yellow kit that year, but it was with blue shorts.
That was a decent kit. That, in fact, that whole season, despite how rubbish the season was another season full of good kits.
Well, we had
Puma that way.
Yeah, it was Puma still then.
Oh no, tell a lie, it was Puma. Yeah, you're right. We had like a baby blue kit as well. We never ever once wore it. It was like a sky. It wasn't quite like City's sky blue. It was like
I bought that kit. Well, my dad bought me that kit, and I had Rooney on the back, obviously.
Yeah.
And like, that's all I can really remember about that kit. Like I say, I don't ever remember seeing us playing it.
I don't think we did, but that season, I always remember we had like a sort of sparkly glitter effect inside the Everton badge, and then never had it again, or even explain why we had it that season.
Yeah, because you put it in the wash and the bleeding, like the reef from the tower would fall off. That's why.
But like we had like it was just like no reason for it. It was just like it felt the infills, like on Microsoft Paint where you just fill a colour into a shape. It was like someone had just done a glitter effect and just filled the Everton badge in. There was no explanation for it or anything.
Yeah.
Strange. But
again, that's another case of a decent set of kits being marred by a poor season.
I know. So maybe we just need to have bad kits from now on.
That's it, yeah. No, but again, I think the 2004-05 season, like I say, all three of those were pretty solid. I think, obviously, we're now on the topic of worst kits. So, what would be your worst kit, Terry?
It's got to be the home one for the Allardyce year. It's a shame that's what we're calling it now, but that sweat patches one with the Umbro diamonds down the sleeve, which were just like a darker tone of blue, that was a bad kit. That I hate that. It just looked awful, and it matched an awful season, frankly.
Like I say before, I'm a massive fan of the Umbro diamonds down the sleeve, but if it has to be in white on a plain blue kit, like the way we did it in 2000, that one was horrific. That 2016-17 season, and I'll be honest, I actually bought the kit because I thought this is going to be the season when we take off here, and I got Sandro on the back as well, just to add insult to injury.
Yeah, well, that when I remember that kit coming out, like when it sort of drops on Twitter, someone photographs it somewhere, and someone just held it up, and it just looked like a training top immediately. And it was the first season we had Sport Pesa, so no one had seen that yet. And Sport Pesa was just some block white text and no logo or nothing.
Yeah, it was rubbish.
So the kit was awful. The sponsor looked really plain and bog standard, and it was just like, this just looks terrible. And honorary mention, I mean, people might not agree with me here, but this season's kit and the home kit, I'm a big fan of the away kit and but the home kit, this season's away kit and third kit I think are great, but the home kit's poor. It's so lazy. Like
training top.
You are
very training top to me.
Yeah, with the sort of crosshatch design, but it's like, this is meant to be Archibald Leach's crosses, and it looks nothing like it. But you've seen other Umbro kits this year and just thought, couldn't you have done something like that for us?
Yeah.
Like, even like, look at Schalke's kit. Not groundbreaking, but it's well better than ours.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't got this sort of half. Again, if it's not symmetrical, I don't like it, and there's no symmetry in the pattern. It does me head in.
So basically make a really asymmetrical kit just to wind Terry up, basically.
Doesn't have to be asymmetrical, just don't have like half-finished patterns. But they're me two worst ones. How about you?
What about you, Max? Let you go first.
Do you know what? We were pretty successful wearing this kit, but I do not like the, I think it was the 85-86 one, where they just basically cut it off at the torso of white. So it's like, it's like it's third white before you even get into the blue. And by having obviously like conversations with the family and that, apparently at the time that wasn't a hit with people wearing that kit around them. But yeah, I've got to, as I say, I was really hyped up once we got the Nike partnership, and then for them to turn in that sort of not the original ones. I mean, I've got me qualms with the big fat cuffs on the sleeves, and I'd say I don't like them. But the season after that, where We changed our badge for sort of graphic design purposes, and we were looking to really crack on as a brand, as it were, and those kits were just trash.
It's worth remembering actually that Nike advised Everton to make it the whole one entity actually as well. It was part of their kit design.
There you go.
So yeah,
I like the badge we've got now a lot. I think it's the best badge, version of the badge yet. But you can still do it and get it right. That like one season badge was just awful. It's the only blemish on an otherwise brilliant season. That
we should have kept it if it meant we won the league.
Well, yeah. What about you then, James? What's your worst kit?
Interesting one, really. I mean, I was saying that 99-2000 kit was my favourite, and I think my worst home kit either has to be one of the two that came either side of it. The 97-99 one, which had the sort of 1-to-1 yellow stripe in the middle.
Yeah.
And which was actually a strangely lighter blue than any other Everton kit I've seen. And then the Puma's first effort, which was like had the really, really white stripes down the side, like really big white stripes, and made everyone look fat in it for some reason.
Yeah. On the subject of a lighter blue and like too much white, that one under Lecoq Sportif where we had the V, and the V like sort of looked like a maternity top because like a seam like
the chest.
And the V was too long. It was a dead funny shape. The kit didn't sit well on any of the players.
Yeah.
The V didn't like finish at a point. It sort of just squared off, didn't it, at the bottom?
Yeah.
Like a couple of years later with Umbro, we had another one with a small V.
That was good.
That looked great. It was like that's how you do it if you're gonna copy the V from the 80s, which I think it's a good idea. But that Lecoq Sportif one, it was the wrong tone of blue for the kickoff. That was one of our worst ones. I even had it and liked it at the time, but look back now and go, oh, what was wrong with me? I liked
that's because obviously they did the I think under Lecoq Sportif we had a handful of sort of limited edition releases, and I remember that kit. It was the 25th anniversary of the 84-85 league and Cup Winners' Cup double. So I remember getting that kit to wear, and then remember getting that kit in a box as like a birthday present with a sort of limited edition badges on it. But yeah, it was a lighter tone of blue, and that weird stop point, like not quite at your chest, not quite at your belly. It was really odd.
It just made it weird that it didn't finish as a V. It just like it was a V with like a squared off bottom. It was like, is that for real? Like, and when you saw the Umbro attempt a couple of years later, and it was just so much more clean. And
it was nowhere near bigger though, and I think that goes. I don't think you could pull off the sort of very long white V now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but the small, I think that's an honorary mention for some of the nicer kits though. The Umbro version of that kit, I thought that was really nice.
Looking back, actually, I think that entire season was full of decent kits. We had the green one, and then there was the white one with the sort of like hoops on the arms, which was strange, but I actually liked that.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, it was like white with like grey hoops, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I thought it was all right myself.
Yeah, it was all right. It was. I wouldn't put it up there as one of the best, but in a list where there's a lot of bad ones, it's not one of them.
On the note of bad ones, what about bad away kits? We've had a fair few.
Go ahead, Max. I'll let you go first, and I'll have a think.
I'm going to have a little nosy at our away kits. So I've got up like a history of our away kits now. I'm not a big was it the away or the third? I think it was the away one, as I say, with that season with Nike where they give us the weird sort of the stripes, and we did the International Cup in the US.
The yellow kit.
Yeah, the sort of really stand out bright blue and bright yellow.
Yeah.
I wasn't particularly into that, but I've got to be honest with you, mate. I'm not a big detractor of our away kits, as it were. I'm quite a solid fan of them. I don't think to be honest, the ones I have the main complaints about are the sort of bright yellow ones. I don't think we belong in a sort of bright yellow kit, to be fair.
No, I agree. I'm a big fan of like the sort of dark, like the more like ambery colour, like the one like Terry was on about from 2004. I think they're the best, and that's the colour I think in Everton away should be. But I just thought that, like you say, that one was a bit too far. And I think the worst one for me, has to be the 97-98. With it was the first 1-2-1 season with, it was yellow and just blue and black stripes down. It was absolutely horrific.
I remember that we switched up the sponsors on that one, and we went from Danker to 1-1.
That was it, yeah.
No, actually, I've got a funny memory of a family friend who wrestles used to fucking come out in that kit when he wrestled in Germany. So I think that kit's quite funny. But yeah, I can understand why you don't like it.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. What about you, Terry? Worst away kit?
This won't be well received by a lot of people. This because a lot of people for some reason like this kit. But 2009-10, you know the year we had that big stupid V, the away kit. Yeah, it was black with pink stripes, collared.
Yeah.
I did that. I thought that was an awful kit, but it was everyone else seems to like it. It was black with the pink stripes and the Chang logo was white. It just looked so mismatched for me. If the Chang was pink, I might have got on with it a lot more, but it just looked like a Las Vegas club sign. It was just so strange looking. I wasn't a fan of that.
Maybe I like Las Vegas clubs, but I like that kit.
I think you've said that to me before, that you like that kit. And most people do. Everyone I speak to likes that kit, but I hated it.
It was the opening of the floodgates before we got the full neon pink washover, weren't it? So.
Well, everyone likes an amber or yellow Everton away kit, but I'm not with them on that. I'm one of them people. I like a pink kit. I think Everton having a pink away kit is feels right. I mean, as long as the kit's nice, don't get me wrong, you can still make a bad kit, but I've wanted us to have a Palermo type kit.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I love their kit.
Like a pink top with black shorts and black socks to go against Everton's blue, white. I just think that'd be amazing. But we always do pink with flashes of navy like this year and whatnot, and it's never quite that same pink. It's always like a sort of half red, half salmon. I'd love us to have a Palermo type kit, but it's just not in the cards, I don't think.
I wouldn't mind us going somewhere back to that sort of black watch kit with the sort of salmon pink and black.
Nice.
Yeah, like a sash.
Yeah, a bit like that, yeah.
Bit like
we haven't had one like that, actually.
Okay, haven't we?
Who've got one?
Peru have got a sash like that on their
Peru,
kit.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not common in a lot of kits that now, but I think that'd be popular if they made that.
Yeah, well, let's hope. Well, we're getting rid of one, but I think, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst kept secret in Everton Twitter now. We're going to Hummel, aren't we? So,
is it definitely Hummel or is it someone else?
Yeah, it's Hummel. It's been spoke about a few places now. We're going to Hummel. Don't know when it'll be announced or what have you, but it's pretty much nailed on, isn't it?
Well, hopefully, I mean, I've saw a couple of their numbers this season, like Rangers and stuff. They make their kits and they look pretty decent. So hopefully, if it is Hummel, then we'll get a slightly better effort than we've had the last couple of years, because we've had a couple of weak efforts in a row now, haven't we?
Fingers crossed. I mean, it's a proper lottery with Hummel. Sometimes they're unbelievable, and sometimes they're just completely crazy. Like they've got kits in South America that it's like the print of a tuxedo, and then and then you see Rangers as ones which are quite good, and yeah, I would hope they sort Everton out with a really nice classic looking kit and not crazy. I mean, maybe not a tuxedo print, but go a little bit, get a bit creative with the away kits, but keep it classic with the home kits, please, Hummel.
They go crazy with the away kits. Do that one like they had for. Did you see the one for CD Lugo in Spain, where they were sponsored by Estrella Galicia, the beer, and it was like a pint. It was shaped like a pint with like amber up to the ear with a bit of a white head at the top.
Oh no!
And I thought, yeah, who wouldn't want the team's away kit to look like that?
Oh, it sounds.
Don't
frighten me.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick sort of one Everton kit to erase from your memory, which one would it be?
Probably that home kit from the Allardyce year.
The Allardyce kit, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
I think that's the first one. We've always had different opinions on this segment here, but I think that's the first one we can all agree on. I'm just happy to I threw mine. Remember when Sport Pesa did their kits for Africa? And as soon as they announced that, I just went right down there and threw my kit in there because like I'm not keeping this rubbish kit from the season where we've flopped, where I've got Sandro on the back of it. Like some kid in Africa's now having a kicking about in like a little village with a shirt with Sandro on the back.
But you do, mate, never, ever, ever get a new sign on your shirt, so especially one who's new to the league, because it's that.
I've given many players to kiss a debt with a shirt, or either that or they've been sold in Rooney's case.
Yeah. Lard Paul did that with Gravison, he said, hasn't he? Like, got Gravison on his shirt, and warned him not to, and he wouldn't listen. And then he left like 3 weeks later. Nightmare.
It's just classic though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there you have it, guys. That's the end of the kit throwback. Be sure to let us know what you thought about this discussion, what you think your best kit is, what you think your worst kit is. We'd love to hear like a few more throwbacks. Name a few that we haven't maybe touched on as well. But for you guys on YouTube, that's all we've got time for. Thank you to Max and Terry for joining in once again, and thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.